What's going on, everyone? Dr. Frankie here. Super excited to be with you all. And today I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, which is how to have the what are we conversation when dating. So dating in 2023, or really in the broadly contemporary era of the last few generations, is a concept that's grown to encompass many things. In general, this is a good thing. I think we're all glad we aren't still stuck with Jane Austen-esque courtship model where we'd need relatives to chaperone us or else we'd be considered damaged goods forever. Like, who wants that? However, that does mean that the exact type of dating we're doing, whether it be casual, exclusive, serious, friends with benefits, a situationship, can feel a little unclear, especially in the early weeks or months of dating. So the price that we pay for a more dynamic dating culture that allows for a greater range of options outside of marriage for the purpose of ensuring property inheritance is that we need to communicate directly if we want to be on the same page, right? While direct communication is ideally an everyday part of any dating dynamic, from deciding the restaurant for dinner to sharing your thoughts and feelings, communicating about the exact nature of your dating dynamic is a specific project, a what are we conversation. It's a time to check in about A, how things are going now, and B, where they're going in the future. Like, is this a serious relationship? Do we want it to be a serious relationship? Are our wants and needs for a relationship aligned? These can strike fear in the hearts of even the most seasoned daters, but they don't need to. And here's my advice for making a what are we conversation go as smoothly as possible. You want to preempt the conversation altogether by stating what you're looking for. If you've ever used a dating app, which I'm sure most of us have at this point, whether we like it or not, or we've seen a bio or written one ourselves that reads something like this: not really sure what I'm looking for, you can easily see how you could end up consistently having conversations with your dates about what you're doing a few months in, right? As difficult as it can feel, the easiest way to have a successful what are we conversation with someone you're dating is by having it before you even start. By being really clear about like what you're looking for and asking them directly what they're looking for. And only moving forward with people who have desires that match up with yours and being really honest with yourself, right? We can sometimes lie to ourselves because we want it to work. We want this person to be the person we've been searching for. But you'd be wasting your time and their time by not being truly honest with yourself. What does this look like? So it helps to be really clear by stating what you're looking for if you do have any kind of dating app practice. Adding something like looking for my life partner, or not looking for anything serious right now, but would love to go on dates 2 to 3 times a month. If you're meeting people in other contexts, or realistically, even if you're meeting them on dating apps, it makes a world of a difference to just ask them directly. I know this can seem scary, but I promise you it's helpful to ask something like this. So, what are you looking for right now? I'm looking for a serious long-term relationship myself, but ultimately, that's really what I want. But in the meantime, I'm really enjoying getting to know new people. This isn't as hard as it may seem. Just remember to share where you're at if you're going to ask someone a vulnerable question about themselves. You got to be able to share, right? The key with this strategy is that if someone shares what they're looking for, something very different than what you're looking for, you have to commit to gracefully walking away. Say something like, "It was so great meeting you. It sounds like we're looking for different things, so I don't think dating is on the table right now for us, but I really wish you the best of luck." Be clear about what your goals are for the conversation. Often our concept of the what are we conversation revolves around the other person's feelings, putting them in the position of almost giving us a verdict. We imagine asking someone, "So, where do you see things going?" and hoping that they give us the right answer, the one we're really hoping for. This isn't a recipe for success. Putting the other person on the spot like this puts a lot of pressure on them and also puts us in a position of giving up our agency and power, which we definitely don't want to do. We're helpless as we wait for their response, right? This sets both people up for stress and resentment, which doesn't bode well for a productive conversation, right? Instead, I want you to think about what you actually want out of this check-in. Is there a specific response you're hoping for from the other person? What outcome do you want from this relationship? Do you even know? Are there multiple directions the relationship could take that you'd be okay with? How important is this to you? If the other person isn't on the same page as you, is that a deal breaker for you? Once you feel clearer on this question, or these questions for that matter, you can share those thoughts with your date to help equalize the dynamic and set you both up for success. You can use this simple formula. Number one, set the purpose of the conversation. Number two, share where you're at. And number three, inquire in an open-ended way about where they might be at, with the possibility to continue the conversation at a later time if they need time to think. Remember, some people aren't, when they're on the spot, they can't think quickly, right? They can't come up with a response so quickly. So you want to be mindful of that. Here's what that might look like. Hey, I've been having so much fun getting to know you and wanted to talk about where we both see this going so we can make sure we're both getting what we need. I feel like we're really compatible and can see this being a serious relationship. And I'd like to give that a shot, but I'm happy to keep doing what we're doing right now if you're not available for that. How are you feeling about where this is going? And I totally get if you need some time to think about it. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Be intentional about how you choose to respond with next steps. While, of course, we hope our dates will want exactly the same things as we do and be able to follow through on them, right? Ultimately, responsibility for making sure that we don't end up in a situation where our needs aren't getting met falls on us. Before and during and after a conversation about what we are, it's crucial to think through for yourself what finding out your partner's feelings will mean to you. What actions are you willing to take in response to what they shared, right? If they share that they're only available for more casual connections, are you going to be able to scale back your expectations to match that or make the choice to stop dating them? Are you going to tell your date and yourself that you're okay with that outcome and settle into a dynamic where you try to subtly influence them to change their mind and resent them if they don't? Yeah, not a good idea. All the direct communication in the world ultimately, unfortunately, can't help us if we aren't willing to be accountable for taking action as a result of that communication. Don't let that be you. I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to hear your comments, and I hope to see you next week. And thanks so much for tuning in.